2005, this 72-year-old Blount County woman left on a shopping trip with her boyfriend's son. It was the last time anyone ever saw Franny Graham. For years, no one knew for sure what had happened to her. Then finally, in December 2009, Illinois State Police confirmed the remains of a woman's body found in a ditch near Metropolis, Illinois, belonged to Graham. Police believe that foul play was involved. 6 News reporter Mona Nair talks to a family member who has been closely involved in this investigation. And Note 11, she takes a look at why this cold case still remains unsolved.
Even while researching this story, it was tough to find people who knew a lot about this case. For one, nearly 5 years have gone by since Franny Graham's disappearance. Also, the case itself has switched hands, first investigated by Blount County and later by Illinois State Police. 72-year-old Franny Graham and her boyfriend Floyd Dockery had dated and lived together in this Coker Creek home for more than 20 years.
Floyd and Franny were real strong in Olympics. He has a huge box full of Olympic medals from the senior Olympics, and I mean like 200 or 300.
Floyd Dockery's son, Arthur Dockery, lived in a trailer behind their home. According to family members, Franny and Arthur did not get along at all. Tom Dockery is Floyd's nephew.
And he really didn't have a relationship with Franny because he made the statement that he would eventually get rid of her. So that, that tells you a lot.
Did he tell you that, or?
No, he told my cousin.
Tom says there were a few reasons their relationship was so strained.
The main reason was that Uncle Floyd wanted Franny, if something happened to him, wanted Franny to have a place to live. And he was going to leave Franny his little house and what acreage he had on Coker Creek. That might have been part of it. The other part was that, Art would go fix something to eat or something and maybe leave a mess in the kitchen, and she didn't like him even messing in her kitchen, which may be petty, but that's,
Then, in September 2005, investigators believe Arthur and Franny left on a shopping trip to Blount County.
In my opinion, she would not have left Blount County with him alive. Why she went that far, I don't know.
A few days later, Arthur Dockery showed up at the Blount County Sheriff's Department. He claimed during that trip, Franny and he had been abducted by women and loaded into separate vans. He also told deputies his kidnappers sexually assaulted him. Arthur said he managed to escape, but hadn't seen Franny since the kidnapping.
Mr. Dockery, you're not able to make bond?
Arthur Dockery was later put behind bars for making up that story, but he bonded out of jail. He was then arrested for driving on a suspended license, and later he was in trouble again, accused of firing a gun in his father's home. But that case was dismissed when his father decided not to testify in court.
Uncle Floyd, eventually when the trial came up, Uncle Floyd didn't want him to be prosecuted and everything, and he just said it's all a mistake.
With no evidence showing Franny Graham had been killed, there were no murder charges that could be filed against anyone. Shortly after, Arthur Dockery disappeared from the area. A few years later, his father, Floyd Dockery, passed away. This was an interview Floyd did with 6 News before his death.
Just like the police, I don't know what's happening. I didn't make ends meet. Just can't make ends come together. Worrying myself to death.
Tom Dockery took care of Floyd Dockery before he died. He says what had happened to Franny and Art's possible involvement were always on his mind.
He cried a lot. He was upset a lot. And so that started his demise.
Arthur Dockery never attended his father's funeral, and he still has outstanding charges in the area. Tom Dockery says Arthur is now working as a tour bus driver in Michigan.
I don't want it to go unsolved. I don't want it to be put in a box and put on a shelf. But likewise, the guilty one should be brought to justice.
The big break in the case was in December 2009 when Franny Graham's body was finally identified in Illinois, and a phone call made from Arthur Dockery's cell phone back in 2005 puts him 10 miles from the ditch where the body was found. We contacted Illinois State Police. All they can say right now is they are still looking into the case. In the studio, Mona Nair, 6 News.